You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. So next we're talking on the telephone all about a performance taking place at the Sheppey Little Theatre. Firstly, thank you very much for joining us.
That's a pleasure.
Now, I was hoping you could introduce yourself and also let our listeners know a little bit about yourself as well.
Yeah, my name's Annetta Mutton, and I wrote this play just over a year ago, and I've taken it around a few residential homes and public venues, and I'm bringing it to Sheppey Little Theatre. The play is called An Evening with Marlene Dietrich, and it's all about the film icon. Well, that's what she was in the 1930s, Marlene Dietrich, but also she had a really fascinating life because she went and sang on the front line during the Second World War, and then afterwards she was a cabaret artist, and she sang well into her 70s, so she was a workaholic.
So what inspired you to write all about this?
Well, I'd done some work on murder mysteries, and I just felt like doing something about one character, really for the simplicity of it, because it's quite difficult to get all the actors together to rehearse when you can't guarantee payments and things. So I did it as a one-woman show, although I do like working with other people, obviously. But it also means it's handy and easy to take around to different venues. So I'm going to 40 venues in 3 months, from September to the end of November.
So how did you come to be aware of the Sheppey Little Theatre here on the island?
Well, I had a list, a list of theatres, small theatres. I'm going to the Arden Theatre in Faversham as well, and the Avenue as well in Sittingbourne. I'm fascinated by it. I haven't actually been there before, so it'll be enlightening for me to go there and find out what happens there besides my show.
So is this the first time you've written and performed in something, or have you done this sort of thing before?
Well, I trained just over 20 years ago as an actress, but I didn't last very long in the profession. I sort of decided to do other things, and I've had a family since, but the bugs kind of got me again. And I started off when I hit 40. I had my midlife crisis and decided to learn the whole of Shirley Valentine, which is a very long one-woman show, but very funny, by Willie Russell. Right. And it sort of went from there, really.
Was there anything else you'd like to get over to our listeners?
Well, the show is particularly of interest to the older generation, although she had a fascinating life, and if anyone wanted to Google her and find out more about her, they might find that they'd be interested in coming along as well. But it's really good for reminiscing, because when I've taken the show to residential homes, it's triggered conversations with people. Many people have been to see her live in her shows, and it's just a good icebreaker for people.
So could you let our listeners know when it's on?
Yeah, it's on Friday the 26th of September at the Sheppey Little Theatre.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much for telling us all about your performance at the Sheppey Little Theatre, and if you've covered everything, I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time out to tell listeners a little bit about it.
That's a pleasure. And would you like to hear one of the songs that I sing?
Yeah, we can do, yeah.
Well, the one that she's really famous for is called Falling in Love Again. So I'll just give you a couple of lines of that. So it's, falling in love again, never wanted to. What am I to do? I can't help it. There you are. Just a little entree into the show.
Well, no, it's always good for our listeners to have an idea of what it's like. So
yeah, and sorry, I was going to say it's also quite a funny show. There's quite a bit of comedy in it as well, because she was a very strong character and quite amusing.
Well, it certainly sounds a well worthwhile thing going along to hear. And as I say, if you're performing in it as well as actually talking all about it, it's certainly interesting.
Good, yeah. I encourage everyone to come.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.